Welcome back. Well, approximately 100 nurses across the country, the final cohort to complete the bridging program towards registered nurse status, are calling for an exemption from the pre-registration evaluation. They argue that their curriculum and clinical training meet the standards set by the University of Namibia. However, delays in the examination process by the Health Professionals Councils of Namibia, also known as the HPCNA, are hindering their professional progress and impacting healthcare delivery. The evaluation fees, currently set at 2,000 Namibia dollar for the first attempt and 1,000 Namibia dollar for the second, are considered unaffordable by the group, many of whom remain unemployed. We're now joined by two affected nurses, that is Natasia Swartbooi and Esmarialda Garoes. Ladies, good evening and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening, and thank you for having us.
Well, of course, as I mentioned, you are two of the nurses that are a part of these 100 nurses across the country who have raised this complaint. So, Esmarialda, just to start with, can you just briefly share your journey through this bridging program and what motivated you to pursue registered nurse status?
As a previous enrolled nurse, you are in the system, and when you have the passion for what you do, you look forward to evolving and then also progressing in your profession. But the thing with when it comes to healthcare professions is you can't do anything online when you are having a certificate. You need to go back, sit full term, and then study and go back and continue. Once you have the registered nurse training, you are able to at least do other distance courses, postgraduate diplomas and whatnot. So what encouraged me is during the COVID-19 pandemic, we really struggled, but we managed. So it was an eye-opener to say, why am I still in the same position that I'm in? And I've worked for more than 12 years. I've worked for more than 13 years. I'm also able to. So let me sacrifice, let me resign and go. Because the ministry is only sending 2 or 3 people per district. So when they are sending, you have to wait for your chance. And we are not getting any younger. So I thought, let me go. I have the passion and I love the job. Let me resign, put everything at stake. Let me go. The challenges were there. You were independent, now you are dependent. You need to struggle for taxi money. You need to make sure that your assignments are on before due time. And when you are unemployed, you don't know who to go to or where to start. But then we managed. Depression was there, obviously, and there.
Of course.
Because now you can't afford the life that you were able to.
Yes.
And during my second year, I almost lost my house as well. Because I had almost everything. I ended up selling all my furniture. And here I am, a proud, qualified graduate, looking forward to going back. And some really did not make it. Some had to drop out. But I had to push and say, as a breadwinner, let me push for myself and for the people at home and change what is going on at home.
Natasia, talk to us about the fact that you and your colleagues have completed all academic and clinical requirements. What specific concerns is it that you have about this pre-registration evaluation process?
Thank you for asking me that question. My concerns, or the concerns that we as a group had, are the following. This is a new thing that the council has introduced. The test was previously in the past for foreign trained nurses and doctors. The Nursing Council has introduced this test only recently, not only for my group, not only for the previous enrolled nurses, but for the graduates at large, the enrolled nurses and the new registered nurses. We don't know how far the council has come, what prompted them really to set up this state evaluation test. This evaluation test is only going to be twice a year, due date being next week, mind you.
So if you miss it, you wait for 2026.
Most of our institutions have not yet finalized sending in our names to the Nursing Council. And then which means that we have to wait for October. A whole year being unemployed. It stresses us, not only us, but the other graduates as well. this test is very expensive. Financially, for unemployed graduates, most of us, I trust all the other graduates as well, are breadwinners, or they come from humble backgrounds.
Right, yeah.
It's far for them to come and write this test in Windhoek. So this test is a financial burden. And the fact that the cert pass rate is so high, while the pass rate at the institutions where we were trained has been 50%, the Nursing Council fails a person if you get 64%. And it's 5 subjects that you have to do. When they introduced the test, the first 2 groups were evaluated in general nursing and midwifery, and it was a failure. Now, Nursing Council, seeing that the first group failed in 2 subjects, introduced it to 5 subjects.
Wow.
And nursing can never be defined by theory only. Nursing is practical. If I can challenge anybody now, even those that are working as registered nurses or those that are in the offices, if they are randomly to be given a test, most of them will fail because we master in the practicals and in the words or where you are working, you master your skills there. Nursing is an ongoing process. So this test is really affecting us a lot, not only financially, mentally, emotionally, all.
I want to know, Esmarialda, what kind of response or support are you hoping to receive from the relevant authorities, including the HPCNA, the Ministry of Health, etc.?
We do understand that they want to uphold the nursing profession at a higher level, but we would like them to look into were these nurses before. Say for our group, we were nurses before. We worked for more than 10 years. We want to be exempted. We are not school leavers that do not have any experience prior, because the breaching course that we did phased out. We were the last group. And this was to enable nurses that are already in the setup professionally to go back to school because they qualify. And if you were not a nurse before, you did not go and do this breaching course. So we expect them at least to come back and say, since you already have this experience, since you already went through this program, because the Nursing Council is the one that is giving the go-ahead on the curriculum that we have to do. And when it comes to our different institutions that are also training, they also have their own programs that they are, the curriculum that they're having, that the Nursing Board is the one that is giving the go-ahead with.
Sort of approving that
program.
Yes,
they're the ones that are approving that program. So we went through all that phases. And there are a lot of enrolled nurses that transition to registered nurses. We also just want the same opportunity as them. Yes, and we really hope and we believe that they can hear our cry and let us transition smoothly to become registered nurses. Yes, we are sitting at home with all this experience. What are we doing? We want to go back to our workforce.
That brings me to my next question, Natasia. In your opinion, what impact is this delay having on the broader healthcare system, especially in understaffed regions? Because there are regions where there are currently so little nurses, and here we have nurses who are saying we're ready to do the job, but this is, blocking our way.
Okay. Yeah. They are praising the private sector a lot, saying private nurses working at private sector, they are doing a great job and so on. Nurses at state hospitals facilities can do the same. The difference here is nurses at state facilities are burdened. They have the patient-nurse ratio. There's a huge imbalance there. One nurse has to work with over 40 patients. So there is that strain that needs to be addressed. We are here, employ us. Also, that brings me to the next thing that I'm also concerned about. What is the rehiring policy of our ministry? Private sectors are taking back their graduates after they completed their training. They went back to work. It's been 7 months that we are at home. And not only the UNAM diploma graduates, all over, we are at home. Vacancies are there, we can apply. When we are still having our enrolled nurse licenses, however, we can't apply for any jobs because when you apply, they will ask you, Why is there a gap of 3 years? If you tell them that, no, I went to upgrade, I went to career, I went through career advancement, they will say no, but then you have to wait until you have your diploma license as a registered nurse. So it really affects us a lot.
Yeah. That is a great question. What is the hiring policy? Just as we round off our discussion, I want to give you each an opportunity to just, if you had a message for the policymakers or the, you know, the general public about this situation, what would you like to say to them this evening? Let's start with you, Esmarialda.
It's okay for policymakers to bring up new rules and regulations, new policies. We are not against that. What we want is for them to engage with the people on ground, for them to come down to our level and ask, what is it that you are facing? At times when you come down to the ground level, where the ones that are affected by these policies, some will say they are singled out or they are being bullied, but come down and ask them, what is it that you want? How is it that you want this policy to be implemented? Is there something that we can do for you? Because us that are on the ground, we are the ones that are mostly affected. If we have to even look at the COVID-19, people were sitting, specialists were saying ABCD should be done, but who was doing the most workforce? Us, we were on the ground level. So the policymakers should come out from their offices. They should come and engage with us and see what is it that we can do to bring a better change in the health sector. What the private sector is able to do, the government will also be able to. But the problem is, we are saying resources and resources, but with the resources that you are having, what ownership are you doing? What is the mile that you are taking in order to give service delivery to a point that you can say, I am now satisfied with what is happening on the ground level? Yes.
Natasia, your final remarks on this matter?
What was the question again?
Just if you had a message to the policymakers or even to the general public about the situation, what is it that you'd like to say?
For this year, 2025, we humbly ask the Nursing Council, not only for us, to exempt us from this test, as the Nursing Council itself is also not ready. The readiness has been proven for them, that they were asked once during the meeting that was held, why is this test not monthly? They mentioned that it's too expensive for them. And Nursing Council is saying it's too expensive for them. Now what about us unemployed graduates? And then the other thing is the fact that the test is only held in Windhoek. What about our fellow colleagues that are coming from the north, from the south, all over? It's expensive for them. Life in Windhoek is very expensive. In Windhoek, everything is taxi, rent. For them to come to Windhoek, they have to book guest houses. They have the test. It's almost 5,000 that we have to pay at the end of the day. If you calculate every cost.
All the
it's almost
involved.
5. Or let me say 6,000. Where do we get that money? Where do we get that money? We had to leave everything. We were sole breadwinners in our families. The loan sharks are looking for us. So we are pleading to the Ministry of Health. He has to advocate for us. Our institution, as we are talking about UNAM, the other institutions should also stand up for their graduates. Where are the institutions when the graduates are facing this? Where are they? They are failing us. The matrons, they know us. They have seen how competent we were. They have seen the work we were doing. As students, when we were doing our practicals, they were seeing how competent we were. There are competency tests that are done during our practicals. And our lecturers are the ones that are conducting this. So I feel that Nursing Council is punishing us for failures of some institutions. They should address these individuals and institutions.
Well,
but for now, they are not ready.
You want to add something, Esmarialda? Please go ahead. Yes.
And mentioning the institutions, after the National Health Training Centers closed up, we all are aware as a nation that a lot of new institutions came up. We do not have an issue with the Education Ministry accepting them, the Nursing Council giving them the go-ahead to teach. But if the Nursing Council is seeing that this particular institution is not rendering what the Act is saying, let them at least give them a notice or close them, because the ones that are currently suffering are the institutions that are also giving what needs to be done. We are only asking to be exempted. We are humbly asking the Nursing Council, the Ministry of Education, and the Ministry of Health to look into this matter.
And the test to be free for the future graduates.
Yes.
The test should be free for the future graduate. It should be monthly. It should be decentralized so that it can be accessible
All
easily
over the
to
country.
others who are far from window. It was easy. You graduate, when you get your funds to go and register, you
register.
just
And you
step in
start
and
working.
register. Now we are
It's a
given
complicated
deadlines,
situation, yeah.
and it's only twice a year.
Well, ladies, we hope that the solution will come quickly. We
We do
thank you
hope
so
so.
much for your time this evening, and thank you for sharing your stories with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us. Have a wonderful evening.
Well, on that note, we wrap up today's edition as well of the Daily Roundup with Nina. Of course, we're back on Monday, same time and place. From myself and the team, it's good night. Thank you for watching.